This episode of The Cut was filmed at the Men's Grooming Lounge.
Now this is me in the future. Always want to prove a point. Now we're contemplating another junction in life. We live with our decisions. It all come down to choice. It all come down to choice. Hey, I made use of my opportunity. Now I'm where I want to be.
So we're back in The Cut with two guests, a colleague of mine in the business, Basie from TOK.
Manners and respect, my general.
Respect
man.
every time. Everything
yeah,
good?
Yeah, man, and thank you for having me on the platform. Congratulations to you with all the great things we are going with, bro.
Respect, man. And we have Dr. Alfred Dawes, PMP MP candidate for Southeast St. Catherine, I was right?
Yeah, man, got it right.
And he's a man who wear many hats, you know.
Okay,
it's
that's
not...
why I hear none of that.
Yeah.
We start the ear jokes already, man. The barber not even reach.
Yo, look at that. Look at that, man. Look at that, man. No, it's a real talk, though. I don't know how you do it. You are a columnist. You are a doctor by day. But you don't have to be a politician by day too, because it's too big.
Politician by evening.
By evening. Do you ever feel like you have to leave medicine to be the best politician that you can be?
Well, I think it's going to come.
Eventually,
it's going to come. I don't think, especially if you're talking about a ministerial portfolio, I just don't think I'm going to be able to balance it, because with surgery, it's a little different. When you operate on somebody, you have to be there to see them through the recovery period. You know, it's not like you have an office and somebody can sit in.
Yeah.
People want to see you.
Right.
You know, so
right.
That's...
And a ministerial post is a 24-hour job, that, you know.
Right, true.
You ready for that?
I don't know. It's just 1 year in politics.
Yeah. No, but you hit the ground running, though, boss, man.
Yeah, man. Things moving at light speed, I must say.
Well, I mean, even just the way how I see you deliver on the political stage is like you hit the ground running. Me, I wonder is what could have happened in your life that would have prepared you to be so comfortable in a public speaking arena. That's not a boy thing, you know. Because even we as artists, we can perform in front of 20,000 people, comfortable, nice, relax.
Right.
Make we talk in front of 200 people.
Right,
It's a different
and I guess the difference is...
And I thought it would have been harder with you guys, with a bigger crowd like that.
Let me tell you the difference, what I believe. Wainwright, they know your music already, or you might have a new song, but them know where you're coming with. Them come for entertainment, them know this man a lyricist or whatever. So the environment is understood, but your job now is to understand what they need and to communicate and convince them that you will help them to achieve what they want to achieve. So you're kind of selling yourself to them, or if you already have followers, it's tapping into more of what they want. So I think it's a little different. Easier for artists, because we know, so them know a song. All right, we'll line up the show, we're going to start with that hit song. But I drop 2 new things in the middle and we have that hit song.
It's
organized. But politics, I think, would be a little different. So it's interesting to hear your take.
So I want to bring it back to that now. What did you do in your life previously that would have set you up to be a good public speaker, be a good communicator?
You know, I was awful in public speaking in school.
Really?
I remember one time in primary school, you know, they usually have the festival thing. Rehearse the poem, everything right through, and I go on stage and I see the whole thing. Freeze us, lock up, freeze. You're talking about serious 8 Mile thing going on, you know? Nothing at all. So they take me off stage and give me some water. And then I say, yeah, man, we're ready. You ready? Yeah, we're ready. And go back again. And freeze up again.
It's ice water, then put
not at all. You know, but I was always shy. But first big boss, I could have said, really, on TV, reading competition. And then I was on school challenge quiz, finals. And
which school?
Monroe.
Nice.
But Glen Arch and Arden.
Take it away from you.
Finals, you go?
Man. Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, man. That was we clean up all of the trophies, them top boy school, top country school, most points in competition, everything, and then boom.
Finals.
That's
Arden, no normal.
Glen Archer days, man.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
But it's really when, I would say when I was president of the Jamaican Medical Doctors Association, couple of years ago, 24, about 10 years ago now, since then. It's just, as soon as I went in, Chick V hit. And I had to be talking on air a lot and giving a lot of advice and so on. And I remember one night I was in CVM talking about Chick V, and Curlin Brown run in and say, Ebola reach America. I said, what? They said, come give a talk about Ebola. I said, no, about Ebola. He said, all right, we give you 5 minutes. I'm there scanning, reading up everything I can about Ebola. And then you had to put on this self-assured confidence now, and you know, well, Ebola is a virus that was originated. So you just kind of fake it until you make it, and it just kind of, your confidence kind of build over time.
But let me ask you something. Wouldn't you have made some appearances on your father's radio show?
Yeah, that
over
was
the time.
That was after. So on Sundays, I used to join, and they actually celebrated his 11th anniversary.
Doing that show?
Doing that show.
Doctor's order. My mother don't miss a show this Sunday. You ever hear a radio show where patients can call in, or just a regular Jamaican can call in?
I know the show, man.
Yes.
That's
his father.
Yeah,
cool. Winston Dawes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, on that show for a while until I went to SAV, and then it became a little bit difficult, so. I guess, but politics different. You know, what I am afraid of is, you know, politicians go on stage and then just chat some foolishness.
You know, overpromise.
No, man, not even the overpromise. Them, you will talk about gal in a bungalow, use one phone, call one phone, or then you tell people vote for the wrong party or something like that. I'm always conscious of that. But I realize that thing when you see the crowd real, you want them real again.
Yeah, man, that is the artist part. Where you get the forward.
You get the forward.
It's addictive, bro.
Yeah, man. So you see the chirping where a lot of politicians go on stage and talk about, but then you don't want too much substance because the crowd not real for the substance, them real and a cuss the other party. But you go down a road where you just attack dog and gimmicks.
You
know? But
you end up saying something where you don't want, where you don't really mean for say.
You just want the forward.
And then that clip there becomes a viral clip.
Bite of the week.
Then you're under scrutiny and
that's it. You have to go apologize, walk back. And I see it happen to a lot of young politicians. You know? But there's something that I always wary of, getting caught up in the moment. So, we'll see.
What was growing up like, family life, school, all of these things?
So people don't know, but I was born in England, right?
England?
London,
so
England.
Hold on. This come as a shock to me, just like Glenn Campbell on the first episode. Titus. Born in England.
Learn to talk patois.
And learn how to talk patois on the ground. And So how many years did you at England? Or you just
I came back when I was 6 months and then went back, visit family, and then I moved here when I was 3 years old. So I lived there from 3 years old till now.
Okay.
But the book helps, you know, traveling and so forth. And I never really connect with the British thing because I always had this little chip on my shoulder. Anytime I'm there at school and say I come from England, you're not Jamaican no more, man. And I'm like, yo, I've been here, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I kind of used to hold it down, you know. And even in the street, some people see me and say, yo, when you say born in England, I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say, yo, don't tell nobody the star. Because them would say, yeah, the street one in that thing, okay. You know, so.
You so have the passport.
I have it right now in my bag. That's a little thing with me. I just always feel like I need to be ready to hit the airport, no matter which country I'm in. So I always have my passport.
Really?
Right, yeah. But school was VAS, Campion. My parents were highly into education. Actually, when I was born over England, my pops was doing his first master's in land surveying and a thing called GIS. And my mom was, you know, being a mom, taking care of the kid, but she also was starting to study law. Eventually, when she came back to Jamaica, she did her MBA. Dad did a second master's MBA. Then mom did her degree in law. Pops did his third master's. By this time now, I'm in high school. And then I discovered music. So it was kind of this challenge because my parents were just like, yo, get your degree, get your whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do, it's music I want to do. And Campion. So when Dad got his third master's, I remember him coming to me and say, look at this, what you see here? And I'm like, 3 masters.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what that mean? And I'm like, no, what that mean? And he said, I expect 5 PhD from you. Whoa. And I'm like, yo, I just want to go to the studio. You know what I mean? For me, it was just like music was, from me and the rest of the man, them link up in choir at school days. I just knew this is what I wanted to do. And I knew that I had the brains to do other things, you know, like I'm very good at maths. Yeah. You know, and so I knew actuarial sciences is where I wanted to. That's where my maths thing was leading me to, or law. But music was just something I say, you have to do it now. You can do that later down if you want to do studies later down in your life. And so it was a clash with me and my father.
So I ask you.
Can imagine.
Yeah, and eventually I got kicked out of the house. You know, because me start rebel now, start smoke weed, start going with all kind of madness. And it was just like, yo, fail my CXCs. And it's like, yo, we don't have no time for you right now. It's like, pops have this expectation. And my mom too. My mom was a little more supportive, but the only thing my mom was saying is, just go get a degree, man. I support your music, but just go get a degree.
Yeah. And then after you can do whatever
and I was just like, nah. And them tell me, yo, you used to have a medical group, Casualty. I don't know if you know about them, but in the 80s, there was a group of doctors where was a group, a reggae group. Yeah. She's like, it can be like Casualty or any of them. Them have them degree and then them do them music. Yeah. I said, no. So it even reached a point where, after my film, I CXCs now, them send me go flight school.
Big bright, basic fail CXC?
Fail everything, bro, because I never studied. I never interested.
Yeah,
and
music
at the time, 3s were seen as a fail.
Yeah.
No 3s are pass. So I really got a forest. I got a whole heap of trees, you know?
Yeah.
But at the time, it was just like, nah. And my pops is a man like, if I accept B or 2, it's like you have to be 1, you have to be the top of the class.
That's different.
Yeah. So them send me go flight school. I got tinsel pen and I learn how to fly plane and them just try to get me with it. And I remember the last class, it was like a
So you actually completed flight school?
Like the pre-thing, like basically I could have fly the small plane them. And them say just need the hours now for get to the real level. But it was just like a crash course for 3, not crash, but it was a quick course.
Bad choice of words. Bad choice of words.
Right, it was a quick set of like over a summer.
Yeah.
And the last day, after you fly the plane, I think the last thing them said, like the close off day, them make you go to Butch Stewart jet in a out of airport and go and look on the jet and see the leather seat in the bathroom and bow sitting and come out now and my mom picked me up and said, so how was it? I said, it was cool. And she said, this is the moment she knows that I'm music me I do. She said, just okay, you get to see the jet and rear. And she said, I'm gonna stop her in her tracks. 15, 16 years old, I said, Mommy, I know what you and Daddy are trying to do and it's not going to work. She said, what do you mean? I said, you and Daddy trying to distract me from my music and it's not going to work. So let's cut it. And she's like, okay. So that was a moment she got to Daddy and said, this boy know what I want to do, better we support him. But then I start smoke weed, have girl and all them things, then Daddy's just like, nah. So he kicked me out. Alex from the group, father took Queen. So Alex's father is like the father of the group. He was the one who carried us to our first event. It was a talent contest, like Warner Brothers, they come now and said they want to put together their own group. So you had TOK, you had all these other little groups auditioning. I'm reach home like 10 p.m. I tell my people, I even come home late and I reach home 10 p.m. at Elsha. So Mr. Mac, Alex, I'd have to go in and talk to my parents and calm them down. Yeah. So he was always a supporter. So when them kicked me out, Mr. Mac take me in. Flex parents kick him out because them strong Christian. Mr. Mac take me in. So you have a...
So wait, how long I get kicked out?
2 out of the 4 we got kicked out and went to Alex's yard. So for like a 2-3 year period, all of we just there Alex's yard, Cactus down the road, we start go Cactus and that's really where we started to find our own song. Because before we were just singing Boys to Men songs.
Yeah. But I see you leave out the part when you had it on wedding singer, man.
Wedding, we went to a few cabarets, but it's true.
Him sing on my auntie wedding, I'm not even remembering them, but a little boy them time there. Yeah, man, then after that, I see them I dance. I say, look, one touch of class.
Exactly. No, I'm got touch of class. You know the thing. Yeah, man. Legendary, that man. Yeah, man. I know we rebrand and say Tribe of Kings, but the people never know the real thing. So they can't tell about Tribe of Kings. So that touch of class. Yeah. So it's a long journey. I don't want to take over the thing, but it's a long journey.
It's an interesting story because I find a lot of similarities because, I mean, there was a time where it was a struggle to prove to my parents that dancehall was the thing, Maureen through passion and calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I understand.
I think my mom even said she know your mom from, your mom used to be at BOJ, or one of your parents used to be at BOJ?
My father used to work at BOJ.
My mom used to be at BOJ.
Really?
So the connection there. So when she even say, look at Wayne coming out, but by that time we already out, so it's just more like she accept now, and she say, yo, see our next colleague's son coming out and whatever.
Right, because I'm going to have to ask you about what was the moment when them they realize, say, yo, look like Russian.
Thing look good.
Look good.
I would say there was a constant standard that I had to meet. So because me come out of the house now, my father is like the eldest of 11 siblings and whole heap of grandchildren. Anything my father says, laugh for my family. So my father said, yo, Rashana wasting life. And the whole family echo, Rashana wasting life. So it reached a point now where my music started playing on the radio. And this is what me I hear back, so I don't know how true it is. But me hear back, say, Pops, I say, like family, I say, yo, Rashan sang on the radio, you know, and Pops, I say, Rashan, if I make X amount of money before I believe, say, music is a real job.
Viable, yeah.
But my mom was working at Victoria Mutual at the time, so she a banker. So we say, you make me know when we reach that number then. And as soon as we reach that number, this time me and my Pops will talk for like 4 years.
Wow.
I'm going to call him and say, yo, what go on? I'm so happy for you back. Yo, Rashan, what go on? But I pull ego upon him and say, yo, carry out to lunch, man. So I say, okay, go on lunch. Order the most expensive meal upon it, and just look for me like, you are try style me, but you don't understand, so I'm just happy so we reconnect. And then right after that, not to jump into politics, but we sing a particular song, don't call the name, that get drawn into politics by both parties, and one party I said that song is about that party there, and we get drawn into show and you can't go yes sir, and Jim Brown party over yes sir, we are the Kings over yes sir, we can't go over yes sir, and it just turned our career into this divided,
polarizing vibe, yeah.
And that's when them really come in. It was like, cause we don't know what for them call me and say, yo, I have some lawyer come and talk about it.
I just listen to the two, and the difference with both of you, it sounds like we all have parents who were, you know, academically inclined. You know, my mother is a teacher, my father is a doctor, surgeon in charge of Maple Hospital for how much years, and he was the man in Clarendon.
Right.
And I actually liked history and literature. So when I was at Clarendon College, I actually applied to Edna Manley. And say, you know, this is where I want to go. I want to go down the creative road. And
really?
Them just say, yo, no. It not going to happen.
Right.
Some are like, yo, foolishness this. Some say, all right, if I not got Edna Manley, I apply for Knox. I just determined that I just going down the creative route. And, you know, my grades were better in history, literature, all of that. The sciences, I was an average science student. Bio was just natural to me, but like chemistry and physics, I struggled with it. Maths, up to this day, I don't know how I got a grade 2 for maths, you know? So, you know, I start act out, same thing in fifth form. And my father said, yo, I remember his words exactly. I'm going to send you to Monroe and teach you some discipline. And that was how I moved from Clarendon College to Monroe, you know, boarding school, to get me back on track with the academics and cut out this arts foolishness that I was in. And I remember the chemistry teacher there, Staggy them call him, old guy. He taught my father when he was at Monroe, and he taught me years, legend. You know, and he looked at my grades and was like, you know, I don't know why you're doing the sciences. You're clearly better at the arts. So I just shrugged my shoulder and looked on them, and them just give me a glare. You know, it's like, you're doing the sciences. I'm like, all right, cool. But, you know, I tell about school science quiz. It was the first year. Normally, you'd have the science man, them doing the sciences, and then you have who study the arts, like history and literature and so on. They would make the team to cover
that area.
I was actually better than the guys studying history and literature. So I made the team. So it's 4 science men on the team that year. I know, you know, it was unknown enough. But that was where my passion really was. But whereas I had some rebellion, I wasn't as rebellious as you guys. I don't know. I mean, who knows where I reach in our life, you know? It's a balance. And I mean, young youths would out there now watching, you know, all of us, I guess, we are successful in our own right. What is the right answer to it? Follow your passion or go down a route where, you know, eventually I developed a passion for medicine, you know, and it carried me right through.
Yeah.
Is it that you should just stick wholeheartedly to what you like? I mean, a lot of people do that and they would not make the cut. Or you go through, you never develop something else that you like and you end up in a job that you're miserable with, but you make your parents happy.
I always tell people the greatest thing my pops did was to kick me out of the house. Because your passion is one thing, you know, but it's a resolve and tenacity that come from, no, against all odds, I'm going to do this. And I think that is what I got from Pops kicking me out. Because otherwise, I probably would have just been at the house, food in the fridge, go play basketball, I want to be an artist.
Yeah.
Like when him kick you out now, and you sit down on the next person's roof, I mean, one at a time it reached a point where me and Flex, I said, yo, even if Alex and Craig not do this thing, you know, if we have to do Shaka Demos and player style, you know, we are going to do this thing, you know. You understand? Because it was like a group thing, cool, but Alex was still doing UTech, he was doing hospitality, so I'm still in at the school, his parents, I'm good with him, but him a balance, balance. Craig did actually start Edna, and he was working at Dial. Don't want to age myself by saying Dial, but it's an insurance company.
Right next door to Home Electrics.
Home Electrics, yeah. Right, so when we start come out and start singing R&B, there were many other groups like this. So how do we differentiate ourselves from other groups? Me was no Barry White. I never pretend to be an R&B youth. I just do harmonies, the bass note in the harmonies. But as we start to go out now and go Cactus and whatever, we start do what is natural to me, which is dancehall. So me with a DJ Bounty sang them at the time, haunted rhythm around the place. When the man them sing, like, so it's that innovate. The point of what I make is that we innovate with sound now to make it work. It's not just passionate, but it's applied thought and creativity to mold your passion into what can work. And so we start to, all right, singer, you do a Wayne Wonder, you do a Tony Curtis. All right, now I go run out with Baby Sham, right? How many are what list boy one of these songs? And in doing that, me start DJ Bounty lyrics, but in my tone. I mean, I realize I create this whole new tone. Big up to Ward and other groups that come out with the bass sound, but me just stumble onto it by trying to DJ killer thing them in my tone. And then we start go studio now, because we start trying to look it. Everybody we hear is say, yo, youth, you bad. Yo, no harmony wicked. So we start get the sign off from the industry. So we knew we were onto the right part. And I think that's part of it. It's not just being passionate and say, yo, at this moment, but you have to put thought in this time where you have YouTube and everything, you have to go get informed and knowledgeable on what you want to do and apply those other things, but make the passion be the gas, the driver that's carrying it through. And that's what going to make you go above and beyond and find a way to innovate and twist and, you know, recreate yourself till you find that sweet spot of success.
But you have to be also realistic too. You have to be realistic in the sense that you can't, just because it's a passion, you drive into it. Because sometimes the reality of life is that you're going to have to provide for yourself and eventually for a family. Most times, right? So if your passion now add up, you have to go to what is going to pay the bills at the end of the day, right?
The thing is, you can be passionate at something, but you're just not good.
I will tell you about it.
You don't have, and not to say lack of talent, but the drive maybe not there, where you don't get your 10,000 hours to master.
Exactly.
You know? Or the situation may not arise ever again for somebody who you idolize as a master and say, all right, I want to be like them.
I want to ask you this a while now. What would make a successful doctor be pulled into the political arena? What was that? What was the catalyst for that movement?
Boy, it's weird to say and it sounds very cliche, but I just felt like it was a calling. Like, things just kept happening. Like I said, when I became president of Junior Doctors Association, like right after that, it was just crisis after crisis, forced me to grow as a person. My passion really is healthcare. And I see where we can do better as a country, you know, and this is going across administrations, to be non-political. We could have been at a level where we have access to good health care for every man. Hospitals can be properly outfitted, clinics, etc. You know, I was just in Trinidad the other day, and when I look at the level of development, you know, yet they have the aisle, but when you see the care that they have, we're just lagging by years. You see their health systems, and you see where we can be with similar resources, and I tried the advocacy thing through JMDA, get in trouble with the government, advocacy through the columns, and I did a stint at Sav Hospital as the senior medical officer, but then you realize that it is policy that is really crippling us. How the money is spent, how you stop money from being stolen, that resources get to the people who deliver in the actual healthcare rather than a massive bureaucracy. All of that reform need to take place. So I was at a crossroads. I mean, I left because I was kind of frustrated with the public health system, and I went fully private. But then you're there and you're just working on what's there to do. You know, you build a bigger practice, you're going to make more money later on, but then that's not really fulfilling. So I looked at other ways in which I could make a difference, and everything just kind of defaulted back to politics. Yes, you can advocate in opposition, but it's really when you're in government you can make a difference.
Make changes, yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you something. Where medicine is concerned, you specialize in
bariatrics. Or weight loss surgery.
Weight loss. Okay. All right, so I could talk about the trend now.
Yeah.
You know what I talk about?
BBL.
Yeah, but no, not even that.
Okay.
The thing named Ozempic.
Oh, I don't know. You not teach me.
Ozempic around the place, apparently.
Everybody do use it.
All right.
Oh,
She
okay.
actually confessed
she promoted
that.
it now.
Oh, that's why she come off for the other thing. She was on a weight loss.
Is Weight Watchers?
You're right,
them out to go bankrupt right now.
Because she leave them.
Weight Watchers and everybody not carry the swing again.
Jenny Craig.
But guess what? No, and stop me if I'm wrong. Ozempic was designed as a diabetes control drug, right? And obviously it helps people to lose weight. But then the regular man now pick up this thing.
And then it went on, so like the Kardashians, all of these people start use it and it just take over the whole place.
But isn't that drug abuse? Like,
not really. So Viagra is an antihypertensive medication. So, but in the studies, them giving all of these men Viagra, and they realize that sex life improving, you know, everything working better down there. So them like, hold on, we're competing at 10 cents a tablet for high blood pressure medication. Why not use it for this at $10 a tablet without any competition? And that also you repurpose it. So Ozempic basically is a semaglutide. So they just run, some companies run some studies and they get the FDA approval to say, all right, we're gonna, this is a weight loss drug, and they rebrand it as such. But it's the same group of drugs, and they work the same way. They slow down food coming from your stomach and they actually cut your appetite. I think it does something in the brain because people who are gamblers and cigarette smokers, they find it easier to quit.
So something good in your brain.
Something good in your brain. The problem is the abuse of it, though, where people think it is just a quick fix. And then when they use it, because everybody's selling Ozempic nowadays. You can buy it on, you see, IG influencers and all them people are selling it. The problem is that it can cause severe muscle loss. And if you lose muscle, your metabolism slows, which is why all of these crash diets, I get a lot of patients who come to me having successfully lost weight, but then they lose so much muscle mass that the metabolism just drop right down to nothing. So when they come off, they just rebound and the weight just come right back. And that is a danger with this and any other drug.
Right.
I was going to say, I think that is the thing about any quick fix in life, anything where you try to fix quick, that'll come back.
Yeah.
You know?
What other procedures you specialize in to help somebody with weight loss?
So the main ones are like the gastric sleeve, where you take off the majority of the stomach, leave it about the size of a green banana, And with that, you cut out the part of the stomach that produce hunger hormones, so you can't hungry again. And then when you eat, you're eating maybe like a chicken leg or a chicken wing. If you try to eat more, you're going to vomit. So your body has to turn now on its own stores. And what we encourage people to do is to make sure you get adequate protein in and do your weight training and so on. And then with that, you get significant weight loss. 100, 200 pounds. I have a guy right now, and I operated on him, it was 570 pounds.
Whoa.
I tell him he's the biggest man, though, surgery in Jamaica.
Right.
We had to use 2 beds.
Wow.
And him come to me and weigh about 340, laughing and everything, most confident, man. I say, yo, it's a billboard, me I go pan for you, And he still has a lot of weight to lose.
But it's probably half of the weight that's already.
So you can have significant weight loss, but the challenge is that we are getting so many people, especially women, and the rate of children getting obese as well is alarming.
Right.
We have the fastest growing region in the world right now in terms of weight gain and obesity is the Caribbean.
Okay.
So.
I'll tell you something I look at, I don't have no empirical evidence, but it's funny how in Jamaica, most people complain about high blood pressure, what them call salt, or diabetes, what them call sugar. But if you go back to our history, what were we enslaved and producing in Jamaica? Sugar and salt.
But that's what I'm used to do the sugar. But the salt thing, there's a theory, right? That the Africans, when they capture them, put them in that ship, them never give them enough water. A lot of them got sick and dehydrated. If you can't hold on to your salt, and the water full of salt. So if you can't hold on to the salt and keep your water, you get dehydrated. You're dead, them throw you overboard.
Right.
So all of the Africans who survived and came to the West Indies were ones who were genetically predisposed to retain salt.
That's why we love salt, huh?
So we love pig steel, stew peas, salt fish, everything.
We don't stand a chance.
No. So when you compare the rates of high blood pressure, and it's about 1 in 3 in Jamaica, when you compare high blood pressure here and in Africa, ours higher. When you look at in England, who migrate from Africa as black people go, and Jamaicans who go, the way I accept you as Jamaican today.
Thank you.
The children of the Jamaican, the West Indians, have a higher rate of high blood pressure than the children of the Africans.
Okay.
And then the medication that work best for us are the ones that get rid of, they call it water tablets, get rid of the excess salt and water.
Okay.
So it's like a weird natural selection.
Right.
Who knows, maybe that's why we can run fast and better at sports and them things there too. But it's like the superhumans were the ones who survive that trip.
Yeah, man. Interesting how that work. And basically, you and your father obviously came to terms and developed a relationship, a strong relationship. A working relationship. A lot of people don't know, say, just trace basic TOK. There's a lot more than meet the eye with you in terms of your day job.
Right.
So how much of your time do you dedicate to this job your father is the original pioneer? Yeah,
so just to put things in context, so one of the things I mentioned Pops was studying was GIS, Geographic Information Systems.
Yeah, please, give me a little bit. Break it down for the layman.
GIS means Geographic Information Systems. What that means in a quote-unquote layman term is basically software to put different locational data together for mapping or for analysis or for sharing or decision making. What I mean in a realistic term.
That sounds layman to you.
Well, it sounds like something where a man with 3 masters would a pioneer still.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is my biggest challenge in the
make it more layman, man.
All right, it always works out best to share examples because no matter how much you say location and spatial, is like it does sound.
Because me there say, I wonder if Alfred understands as a politician, as a school challenge, this man as a bright man.
But for medical, all right, so let me show you examples. I think the best way to describe it is examples.
Thank you, sir.
Please.
So a matter of fact, GIS was discovered in 200 years ago when they were responding to cholera. You remember when there was a cholera outbreak, or historically in, not even Kingston, in England. So it was thought that the cholera was being spread by air, right? One doctor said, I feel it's water. Everybody say, don't know what you're talking about. He started to study the different cases and family members and whatever. And then he saw that there was one case that, let's say it's in Kingston, and then there's one case in Momo Bay. And him said, but the air can't go all the way to Momo Bay. So how it moved over there?
Gone, yeah.
And then him find a connection to say that this person, because remember it was public water at the time. So you get water, this person was carrying water to their mother in Momo Bay. And that's how them was able to use geographic analysis to discover that cholera is a water-based disease.
It's the same thing they're using that app Waves where you can map the police car.
Right, so all of these Google Maps, all those things are GIS-based. They're putting different layers of information to give you big data. But how we do it as our company, Pop's company is called Spatial Innovision, as the first GIS company in the Caribbean. And what we do is help government and private sectors put all of that data and analyze.
Well, you see it works.
Better now.
The man follow him passion.
And then him go back round.
And then go back round and catch back him father.
Yeah.
Wish of
But
him.
I tell you, I want to tell you, it's a full circle because Pops wanted to do music, you know. That's
Really?
why he was so adamant that I shouldn't do it, because him at the eldest of 11.
He took my route and put that aside and found another
exactly.
passion.
That's why I must say you can't do it
so
later
it's a
down.
merge. Yeah.
Because it's a man, my exposure to music was really from him. Him is a man who carry me go Ring Road Carnival and carry me go dance and carry me go choir, uptown thing, like anything to do with music, he used to expose me to it.
No, but Alfred, think about it, you know. Remember, say you still find a way to follow your arts.
Columnists and
The columnists
all of that stuff.
and your social media.
Social media
All
again,
right, this
you know.
man do a post. Me don't know how the man keep a straight face. He might watch somebody here, you know, and I can hear advice, you know, hear tips, you know. So you see, like when you have split ends, like you know, I have to be careful with my
hair.
Then you can go ahead with your moisturizer and then, of course, your sealant. And that is what I usually use for my split ends. So follow me for more hair care routines. Thanks.
The thing goes viral. No man, you really have a arts, a humorous side to yourself, which is commendable, because in this day and age, we can't not find ways for laugh and just free up yourself.
Yeah,
you know, and it's also a viable thing to use your presence. And I see, even now, as a politician, you use social media to push your message, to push you as a personality out there. How important is it to use social media these days?
So everything come back full circle again, following your passion, eh? But either way, you can go passion first and then secondary passion or go right
Yes,
round.
that's true.
Yeah. But social media is invaluable. And here you talk about quick fix. You have a microwave generation where the attention span is like 2 minutes. So if you look at the analytics for a video, it just drop right off. Very few people. You have to have an engaging show like this. And I mean, you're a master at social media yourself.
Social master and social media.
Man turn meme, you know. The day I turn a meme, you know. That is when I know me reach. You know?
But I want to
the man doesn't look out, I don't want to take a picture and it turn, it gone viral.
I don't touch it, but I know Marshall before this, you know. So you see, I'm like a fan of it's two levels. The fact that an artist free up themselves and show another side. Most of us as artists will hold with image and say, yo, nah, this, nah, that.
Yeah.
I love that. And
then
laugh
at himself.
He's hilarious.
Laugh at himself,
He's
man.
hilarious.
A regular studio session.
You have to do that, man.
A regular me and him work, you know, from Miami to Jamaica, studio session and a beer laugh and jam. Never have a bad day yet.
I must ask, and I want to think about this trap music.
I think with music in general, you always have, you should have a freedom to do whatever you want to do musically. I think at the outset, creativity shouldn't have a limit, right? I think as far as you want to go creatively, you should be able to do that in the creative process. But it's not everything you're creative and put out. Some songs, I'm sure Marshall have some song in the vault where him not sure when him gonna drop that yet. Every artist have some song put on. So probably for artists like myself that have an established fan base, I might be inspired by a song and just start talk about how I want to flip the money and I'm not a chopper, but I might want to resonate with that market, so I might want to write music that will connect with them. That's where I have to make that decision now and say, are you trying to just win the crowd and lose yourself in the process, or are you trying to be more mindful of what you put out, especially for your brand? That's me as a big artist.
I'm not going to cut you, but I have to interject right here, so because didn't that happen to TOK in the fire burning era where when they do the song, but I feel like TOK did this song as a more party tune. Right. Just kind of...
Yeah, we get caught up in... And that's why it's so... That's why I have this knowledge now, because we got caught up in that.
But the song becomes this mega hit.
It's a mega hit.
And when it becomes a mega hit, everything, it goes under the microscope and becomes scrutinized by various different groups.
Right.
And I realized that song almost, did it do more harm than good for TOK?
I think it did more good than harm, because up to this day it's still a smash hit. That's how, you know, rappers calling themselves the N-word is a way how something that can be offensive in one day, after a while, the next generation is just like, you know, almost that by taking the sting out of it, by embracing it, kinda, you know. But I think it did more good for TOK in the sense of it is up to this day the most, you know, talked about song for us. Footprints is probably a little bit bigger in terms of the achievement, but that song is still that transcending song. Yeah.
So in hindsight, you would have never taken that out of TOK repertoire?
That's a great question. I think for me personally, I wouldn't change anything about my past, because I love where I am now. So everything helped to make me who I am. And maybe we wouldn't be where we are if we did sing it politically correct. Right. But what I also have learned is that back then we were just singing words. For me, I grew up on Snoop and Bounty, and even though Bounty did bring a bad man energy where I just feel like, yo, if I have my rifle, I'm gonna rise this, or Snoop did make me want to smoke weed. When I started to create music, I didn't think that I had to be literally telling my story. I think I was more thinking about making music for what people want to hear.
So do you think that you're influencing people with the lyrics, though? Like,
I think I think now I know that, but I think at the time I wasn't thinking about it. I never even expect the song to blow up so much. So you're not even thinking it going to have so many ears. And then you're not going to think like people going to, like you go places around the world and them just look at you and them look at you with this thing, because they have believed the narrative that you are a hate, you just walk around with hate.
Our generation would be hypocritical for point fingers and the chopper them are sing about chopping, because our thing was bust out.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one worse, murder or chopping? And the dancehall music build upon them themes there. Right. So clash and these things. But for the most part, the real dancehall artist is not literally using this as a message of murder music and trying to encourage somebody to. But then in the last part now, it becomes skewed, because we see how many artists get tied up in this, that, and you know,
the lines get blurred.
The lines get blurred.
Me don't want to be the artist where come and preach to the youth them, because me know when me was coming out, me sing all kind of things, and I would have been more upset if artists in the generation before me come now and I say, I mean, a lot of people saying TOK say you can't do dancehall, you know. You're a group staying at the boys to men thing. And they have people with R&B thing saying, yo, why not doing the dancehall thing? We force people to accept us to sing bad man song like Nuff Boy I Pose Like a Shatter, or girl song like Girl You a Lead, or conscious song like When You Cry, Cry. We never met nobody put we in a box. We break up that box. Yeah. So I don't want to come down upon the artists now. I think as an adult, as a bigger man, I say, yo, you have some responsibility. You're probably going to learn that life lesson when you get caught up, get tied up in things, your words come back to haunt you with legal matters. But I don't want to be the one that knocked them, because I was there too as a youth, you know.
Let me ask you something, because I realized that TOK took a hiatus recently.
A hiatus bus.
Like a hiatus bus on a cut left. I said, hungry for some more TOK songs. But is it possible for a group of 4 young men to different egos, different personalities, perspectives, opinions to survive for a lifetime? Or is it that you just decide that, you know what, we're going to ride this till the wheels fall off, and then wherever the chips fall, everybody are going to do them, I going to want to do them thing eventually as a solo or as an individual, because you guys went into it young.
Right.
What is the state of TOK now? We're in there right now, and is it possible for one to do it forever?
So the group is, I always use this example. You grew up in a house with 4 brothers, every man have them room. Probably a middle class house, you have everybody, nobody not share room. Everybody have them room, that's a mommy and daddy. You become an adult now, you get your girlfriend and go to university and get a little job. You're not gonna stay in that house.
No.
Eventually you want to go build your own house.
Yeah.
You get married and want to have your own family. But you don't tear down mama house because you're still going to come back on a Sunday for a Sunday meal or whatever.
Right.
That's how I look on TOK. Like TOK will always be the mother brand that make anybody even know about BSC or any other way. But at some point, I personally felt like I had grown beyond just the scope of what we were doing. I felt like creatively I wasn't being challenged enough within the group. And at the same time, I also was producing, so I was doing a lot of different things, and I felt to myself like, we cannot do all this within the brand, you know, but it has to be organized that, like how the Marleys them work. Like, you know, I go see Steve and Damian come out with that album, compete in the same year. Yeah, I go see Steven drop the album this year, then Damian the next year, then Julian the next year. So it's still coordinated, even though every man do them thing. That's how I wanted the group to work. But I felt like there were some personality issues. I felt like there was also something in the back of my mind where people were saying, yo, you have more to offer than just what's in the group as a DJ, as your voice and rare. And at some point, we kind of just decided to take a break. No, I think where we went wrong is communication is key. So we didn't have a formal communication to the fans. We didn't say, hey guys, we're going to take a year, everybody's going to do their thing or whatever. It just here so the group broke up. Flex over here, so and bass over here, so let me know if you're talk, let me know if we're cool. But we're cool, we're from ever since. The group never stopped having a WhatsApp group, linking up, managing our business. We have a huge catalog to manage, publishing, ownership, all that. So the business kept on, and it was like around 5 years, because I started to more focus on Europe as a solo artist. I say, yo, Jamaica is a place where them no want you look like you run them down. Jamaica is music industry is very, very delicate. We have already reached so far into the music. If me for this I run down and compete with Alkaline or whoever was running the place at the time, it's not going mats out. They want to see more on an international platform.
Yeah.
Right. But when we come back to dancehall with King Bass album, I call the man them and say, yo bro, I can't do the album, I have Killer, I have such and such on the project. I need a TOK. And man, them say, yeah man, quick and fast. This was 2017. The album dropped 2018, and I think this is where we started to re-record now. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're bridging them, you know, take a break and every man go whatever, and then we link up back now. And since that we've been recording, we have a single out now, Machine, we tour the world with every show. The good thing about this to me is normally when an artist dies is when people show you or show the family, boy, this artist meant so much or whatever. We kind of had the benefit of, because we broke up, we get this kind of love from the people and the music. Some people come to me when we never even know our fans at TOK and say, yo, now we need enough for reunite. When I do a show and Sizzla see me, and me's a huge fan of Sizzla. I mean, I know say Sizzla follow TOK like that. And the man come to me and say, yo, reggae music needs TOK.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I say, reggae music needs Sizzla.
So, Dr. Dawes, we reached the home stretch now. I want to ask you about the various roles and jobs that you have, meaning you write a column, you host radio sometimes, you are a politician, you are a doctor, you are an entrepreneur, you own your own practice, right? And have stakes in a hospital, like a
hospital, yeah.
How many beds?
23 beds.
23-bed hospital. So you're doing the most, as them saying at the street. You're doing the most. Do you ever feel like, may I have to drop some of them things I call may I run the risk of burnout? Because it's a serious load that you take on.
2 years ago, I made a pivot from just having Windsor as just solely about me, and I decided I was going to go into cancer screening. All of that coming from my mom's diagnosis with colon cancer, and then when I really took a look at the landscape, I realized that, boy, we're really failing cancer patients in terms of screening and all of that, and I said, boy, you know, make a conscious decision that we're going to make a difference there. So that kind of took me down a path where a change of Windsor went into breast cancer screening, colon cancer screening, actually introduced a test to Jamaica where it's far superior to the ones we were using to check for blood in the stool, which is one of the earliest forms of cancer. And with that, you pick up a lot of precancerous lesions and polyps and those things. Most men with prostate cancer find it when it's advanced because we're not doing the blood tests and we're not doing the finger of the butt. So it's a number one cancer.
What age is the age that you need to, as 40. A young man?
From age 40 upwards.
Pass.
Well, we're not started. Doc,
I'm afraid, Doc.
This is how I talk about. Wait, no, man.
Give me a next option now. We are going to the future now, man. Come on, Doc, man. Give me a next option now, man.
It's digital.
So, I'm not...
Don't joke me, man. These are the digits.
Doc, come on, man. We must can give you something different now, man, by now.
This is what we're talking about. So, it's two ways to test for prostate cancer. The finger up the butt and the blood test. The problem with the blood test is that you have to go to a doctor, they write up a requisition form, you go to a lab, needle, enough man afraid of needle and don't want to talk.
Prefer the needle.
Right?
No,
but then
needle,
you get they have to go back to the doctor, get the results. And then most of the cutoff, what is normal, is white people we're using as those cutoffs. So if you look on the form, it tells you 0 to 4 is normal. Now, if you're 40 years old and then you move from a PSA of 1 and it jumped to 3.9, something wrong with you. But then based on that standard, you're normal. So we never really have something that's tailored to black men, and we are the worst in the world, this region here, in terms of prostate cancer. It's later at diagnosis, more aggressive, higher death rate, everything. Right now we're bringing to market a prostate cancer test where basically you just slap a little device on your shoulder. It draws the blood painlessly, just a couple of drops of blood, and then we can take it, that small volume, run it in some machines, and we can tell you what your PSA is.
That's
and we're developing.
Grown,
Hope to get it soon. So we start in the US, and then it's going to be in Bahamas, and then I hope to get it in Jamaica soon.
Yeah, gentlemen, boy, we could have there sit down all day. No, me I tell you.
I don't see the barber though.
Yo, you
no,
know, say,
the rest there, man.
You know, some people on the corner, but see your head and I say, him not need it. Enough respect, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Big
man.
thanks,
Enough respect.
Great conversation, man.
It's always a pleasure,
man.
brother.
As usual, man.
Respect. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Real, man.
Over 40,
yeah.
I forget. I have to start.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
colon cancer and prostate cancer.
Yeah, man, it's important. It's important.
Don't just say it's important.
No, man, no.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
Yeah, man. No, man. I can call him.